What's up, guys? How you doing? This is Traders BMM Blueprint, aka Samuel. So I just wanted to have a little talk with you guys today about your environment and how it affects your trading. Because my environment affected my trading and still affects my trading. Prior, it was bad. Now it's, I say, fairly good because I had to change my environment from bad to good by the grace of God. So a lot of you may be looking at your charts and your P&L and you're like thinking, how come I'm not making gains? Or why am I losing? Or what's the holdup? I know you're probably doing all the work on the chart, the back testing, the reading of the books, Mark Douglas books and stuff like that. And I'm doing all the necessary work you're doing on yourself. But one thing that I learned about trading was my environment is very, very conducive to my success. And I would say it's the same for you. It's very conducive to your success. Because for me, there was a time where I was in a pinch with my landlord, my former landlord, I should say. He had raised the rent on me and he was increasing it like 10% to 20% every month because he felt like he should do that because in my state, there's no cap. There's no cap. It was a landlord who actually purchased an apartment building I was living in the past. And when he purchased it, he said he wasn't going to raise the rent, but then he raised the rent every month. And it tired me out. It stressed me out. I was doing Uber like crazy. I was working my overnight job. And that's when I had decided to really go into trading. Before all that happened, that's when I decided. But then when the pressure came of him raising the rent and me doing Uber constantly, getting lack of sleep, I couldn't trade well. I couldn't focus on trading. So that affected my trading. It was that environment I had to change. Another thing that I had faced was family members I had to distance myself from because they were asking a lot and I had to distance myself from them. So basically, what I'm saying is your environment is gonna have three things in this recording. I'm helping you guys out. It's gonna be people, places, and things. The people, like I mentioned, one was my landlord. For you, it could be your coworkers. Sometimes your coworkers get on your nerve or they stress you out. And the thing about trading, this is what it's done for me. Let me just say about what it's done for me. Then I'll delve into what you could do or should do, a suggestion. What it's done for me is it made me look really at my life. Trading really made me more disciplined in how I think about myself, how I look at the world, what I do, my habits. It really challenged me to be better. Believe it or not, it challenges you to be better. I've heard other traders say the same thing, and I didn't believe it till I started to face it, till I really started to look at my life and say, okay, these needs to change. These, in order to have success, that amount of success in this arena, I have to make these necessary changes. And that's what I had to do. One was moving. I had to move from that place. So I had to find a place where I could have peace of mind and my environment was set. My basic needs are met. And also the room that I trade in had to be clean because the one I had was mixed with other business thing I was doing, like doing eBay, doing Uber. I was like total mess. So I have now a designated area where I trade. I have 3 monitors by the grace of God. So I have those set and it's imperative for me to be successful in this. And I have seen great success in it because of the clarity and less clutter. So that had to do with the people. So I had to move from my last environment. Now for you, you may have to distance yourself from some people in your life in order to find yourself at a better state of mind. And that's the other thing. I know I might ramble. I have a list, but I might ramble. Just hear me out, guys. This gonna make sense to you because it's helped me get better, and it's gonna help you. I really believe this will help you out. So you have to let go of some people. You have to cut some people off. Like one one test I have, I started doing this test when I was younger. I didn't realize I was doing it till later on. It was about having a conversation on the phone with people. I noticed that, let's say one friend, I have one friend I talk with from time to time. Every time I talk with him, I feel like I could take on the world, because he's an entrepreneur, he's a motivator, he gets things done, right? And I noticed that every time I get off the phone with him or text, I'm more productive. It doesn't matter what. It's just his energy, his vibe. He throw the right energy, like I could say urgency to get stuff done because that's the way he lives his life, and it rubs off on me. So that's one thing I picked up. So you may need to find a friend like that or a buddy like that, or I'm using different words, but someone like that. But then I noticed when I get off the phone with other people, I felt drained. I looked at my life. I'm like, oh man, I'm depressed. And then I'm like, wait a minute. What? Before I had this conversation with this person, I wasn't feeling like this. So I took it as a barometer to measure my friendships, or that's not necessarily always friendships. What's the other word? Associates, people I know, people who know me, things of that nature, and people who know you. It becomes like a barometer measurement of where people leave you after you conversate with them. You know, you have to pay attention to your mood afterwards. If you When you encounter your family or friends or your neighbors, what residue did they leave on you? You know, what kind of thoughts they leave you with after you've encountered them? That's going to play a major factor in your success in trading and in life in general. So then I started to pay attention to that. I'm like, oh, shoot, I don't need to associate with this person that much anymore. I could limit my time with them because by limiting my time with them, I could focus more on the positive things I need to do. I start to focus more on the outcome. And if they're against my outcome, therefore I limit my time with them. I know it sounds cold, but like I said, I had the other friend I could talk with, and he's always doing things, getting things done, and that motivates me. And I like that. And I would find myself doing things that I would procrastinate on after getting off the phone with them. Like, oh, shoot, I'm doing this. That's why you have to pay attention. So one thing is pay attention to after you leave someone's presence, their text, the phone call, the social media response. L- Take a test of your mood. See how you respond into it, and then maybe see whether you should cut your time with them or add them more into your life. That's going to be important. So that has to do with the people. It goes with the family and friends. Now I'm going to go to places. I might jump back to people when ideas come to mind. Let's go to places. Now, places is very important. Your home life, like I said, excuse me, my home was different. I had to change it. I had to change my environment. I'm telling you, by the grace of God, I had to change my environment in order to have some peace of mind, to have some peace of solace, and an environment to trade. Now, when I come home, by the grace of God, I could just hop on the computer and set up my monitors. Before, I would have to, I would have to take the computer. It would warm up. It would take a while to warm up. I had an old PC, and I had to take my monitor. I had to run a cable, like a HDMI cable, from the living room, from the kitchen to the living room. It was a mess, y'all. It was a mess. But I had to change that environment to trade. So I had to um, basically, my setup was messed up. Let's just say my setup was messed up in my trading environment. So I had to change that because you won't be able to be successful if you have to always jimmy rig your setup. You have to have a designated place to trade. So that's one thing I had to do. Now my job basically had to minimize some saying yes to overtime and other things that they would ask me to do when they would ask me to fill in for other people, I would say no. Because one thing I realized, this is something that dawned on me. Every time I say yes to something, I would say no to something else. And that epiphany moment blessed me because when I would say yes to an overtime, that means I would be too tired to trade the next day. I would be too tired to study. I would be too tired to do this and the third. So I would say no. By saying no to those engagements or scheduling, I would rather say yes to myself and study, go hit the charts, do necessary work I needed to do, and be well rested. Because we know that we have to be well rested. And you have to think about your gathering. This has still have to do with places, the places you go, the environment the people that you encounter in those environment, in those places. They're gonna play a very crucial role in your success. So you have to minimize certain environments, certain outings and stuff, certain gatherings in order for you to be successful in this. Some sacrifices have to be made. Now, on the things, now I do enjoy video games, don't get me wrong, but I do minimize it when it comes time to trading. And I've heard another trader, not just one, but a few traders, successful traders say, I remember I was listening to, I forgot his name, but he wrote a book. He was in an interview and the interviewer had asked him about all the traders he's trained. And he said there's a pattern with traders, they play video game. Or they've come from sports because I guess we recognize pattern as gamers. If you're a gamer, you're a gamer. If you're not a gamer, that's fine. But as gamers, we recognize pattern. And because we could recognize pattern, our brain, we could pick up patterns on the charts easily. And that's how come we actually become successful in this arena. So, but on the things, environment, you may need to change some things in your life. It could be some hobbies that's not good for you. It could be some addictions. It could be bad habits that you're doing. I don't know what it is, but it could be too much social media, too much pornography. It could be anything. You're overindulgent, drinking, smoking. It could be the vices you use to get away when you lose or when life gets hard. Those are negative vices that you need to put down. Now, in saying that, everything is a trade-off in life. Everything is a trade-off. So I gave you some bad examples of negative examples. Now, here are the trade-offs or the positive you could pick up. Like, let's go back to the things. Like, for example, for the bad habits, the vices, you could replace it with exercise. That's one thing I started doing again is exercise on a regular basis. So that's something that's very important for your mind. You could go to the gym, you could go for a walk, go bike riding. Like as I was a former personal trainer, I always tell my clients, you have to choose a sports that's for you, whether it's tennis. If you don't like to do cardio on the treadmill or the bicycle, guess what? You could go out running. If you don't like running, you could go swimming. If you don't like swimming, then go play basketball or tennis. Basically, all those are aerobic exercises. Something that's gonna help you filter out, get all the gunk out, as I used to say, because when you reach an aerobic state, you get into that flow state. You remove a lot of clutter from your mind, and you get a lot of clarity. Sometimes it's just going for a walk that helps. Or if you have a home gym, make use of the home gym. Remove the clothes from the home gym. That's one thing I had to do. I had to specifically never put anything on my workout bench. Never ever put anything on your workout bench. If you have a workout bench at home, this is a rule you have to have. Don't put your clothes on it. Don't put boxes on it. Don't put nothing on it except your own body to work out on it. That's one rule I started doing because I find that I would use my bench and put things on it and I would just ignore it. So remove the clutter from your workout bench. That's something that it's just a little tip. I'm just rambling, like I said, helping you out. Anything that's helped me out, I'm trying to help you guys out because I know trading is important to you. And basically, your P&L is going to be, your life is a reflection of your P&L. I hate to say it that way, but I find that to be true because when you're doing good outside of your life, you're going to start doing good inside of the charts. It's going to show up. So these are little tips I'm just helping you guys out with. That's helped me along the way. So exercise, like I said, helps. The people, The negative people I've mentioned. Now, the positive people you could put in your life is peer trading, peer groups, um, and mentors. People who are positive, watch positive YouTube um, documentaries, or I listen to EYL. Um, I still listen to Rich Dad Poor Dad on a yearly basis. Read books, things of that nature. Position yourself to be around people who are positive. I'm in my mentors group, and I listen to them constantly. And when they do their live trading, I rewatched it, not just for the trade, but for the mindset. It's the mindset that makes them successful. Like one of my mentors, and I watch him constantly and listen to him, and the way he chooses his words, um, it's just in a positive flow. He's a man of God, of course, but how he presents himself, how he take losses on the charts, and how he gets it, not necessarily revenge trade, but how he gets it back, and he hardly loses because he has so much temperance, and I'm learning that from him. So you may need to find mentors like that, not just guys or girls who just flash their P&L and you get motivated. No, it's not about that, y'all. It's not all about the money or the limbo or all the lifestyle. My mentor don't even show his lifestyle, but I know he's super rich. He's a multimillionaire by the grace of God. Now, the thing is, it's his mindset. It's like wisdom. Like the Bible says, wisdom is the principal thing. And when you have wisdom and knowledge, you move differently, and he moves differently. So I'm gleaning a lot from him because of that. Yes, I want his P&L on my screen, but before I get there, I'm learning from him how to conduct myself when he takes a loss. I'm learning how to conduct myself when he wins, because I've seen him win a lot of money, and he had to scale back. One time he was trading live with us, and he was like, "Oh, I won a lot." We saw him win a lot, and we're like, "Okay," but he had to go back to his rules, and he would go in smaller and smaller. So basically, he begins big, and then he would scale out for the next trade. As the later during the day, he would use less positions, basically. So that's one thing I've learned. And then he would stop. He would stop. He would not let greed get the better of him. Also, he's teaching us. So therefore, because we're learning from him, he's also has a responsibility to show us how to be responsible traders. So you may have to find a mentor group that's gonna teach you how to trade properly. All right, so that's one thing. That's the people you're gonna need to surround yourself with to succeed. And like I mentioned before, it's people, places, and things. Your environment is crucial to your success in this trading game, because one thing you want is longevity. As you begin to trade, it's not just about learning the charts. It has a lot to do with psychology. But in this episode, I'm talking about your environment. Take an inventory of your environment. Write down the people, the places, and things that you need to change, that you need to minimize your time with, or that you need to add more time to, so that you can actually have the success you need. Your environment is very, 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 very important. Like right now, by the grace of God, and that's one thing I fought for. I fought for my environment to be peaceful, where I could come home, things are organized the best way I could organize them, and have this time when I trade. I have this moment where I go to the charts. I have this dedicated area where it's only for trading. Now I have another area where I read. I have another area where I just lounge. But you have to have an area where you're focused. Remove the clutter from your desk. I'll tell you that story at another time. But the thing is, your environment is important. The people in your life, the places that you go or not go, the things you do or not do, is gonna be very conducive to your success in this arena. All right, this is Samuel from Traders BMM Blueprint. I just want to share this with you. This is like fresh off my mind, fresh off the dome. So I just want to help you out because that's what helped me out. And you may wonder why you're struggling. This may be the episode that you need to listen to actually help you see, okay, I need to change this person out of my life. I need to minimize this person out of my life, or I may I may need to change this environment, this place I go to, or this habit I'm doing is not helping me. You have to find an alternate. Everything's a trade-off. You could always ask, what's the opposite of this thing? And the answer will come to you. You already know it. You just have to make the necessary changes in your life to make it happen. Okay, I'm out. Samuel. Happy trading, Samuel.